Hello and welcome back to one of my videos, and in this one I'm going to try and remake 3 slimes from 3 famous slime shops. So the first one is going to be from the Unicorn slime shop by Joseph Anthony, and I'm going to try and remake his mud mask slime, which looks amazing. And I'd seen him showcase it, he was doing a restock video, and then I also saw it being reviewed by Christinaa Danks, and she's very descriptive in her reviews and very thorough, and is very honest as well about what she thinks about the slimes and their prices and the way they handle. And she fell in love with the mud mask slime, so because it caught my eye before, I thought why not try and remake it myself. So I do know Joseph Anthony uses clay, although I think he uses green and white clay in his mud mask recipe, and I'm just going to mix this in as thoroughly as I can. Well, I used air drying modelling clay from Hobbycraft, and it's kind of a nice green, but it's very blue really. So just to soften this up some more, I'm going to add some more clay, but this time I'm going to use some Dizo because it tends to soften slime and sometimes it almost deactivates the slime, makes it quite runny. But this slime's getting stiff, so I'm going to add some Dizo, or is it Dizo? Okay, so now that the clay is thoroughly mixed in, you can see how much softer it is than it was before, and it's very smooth and spreadable, but the green is, well, it's very bluey green, and it needs to be muted a bit, less bright, which brown will do, so it will look more like a mud mask. I know Joseph Anthony adds some brown too, so that's just a good way of dulling down a bright, vivid colour. Okay, so I'm not quite so happy with this colour, so I'm going to add some yellow to make it greener, because at the moment it's more of a sort of cool green, like a mint green. It's quite blue. It needs warming up with some yellow basically, so that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I've separated this piece and now I think it's ready for a little bit of snow. So I've already got some cloud slime here made, so I don't want it too heavy with snow added, as this is just going to give it that little bit of texture that I think Joseph Anthony uses in his mud mask recipe. Certainly Christinaa Danks seems to think there's snow in it, and if you watch her review, I'll post the link to it below. It really does look like there's snow. When she opens the lid, you can see all the tight little strands doing a drizzle when she pulls the lid open. So this is starting to feel really lovely, very smooth and fluffy. It feels like it's self-inflating, and I can start to see little bubbles forming in there as well. So scent wise, I do believe Joseph Anthony uses a lemon tea scent, but I don't have that, so I'm going to use cucumber melon, seeing as it's very popular for mud masks, and I think this will go very nicely. So I don't know if you can see all those little clusters of bubbles in there. I think Christinaa Danks refers to them as triphobia bubbles, which is quite funny because that's fear of clusters of bubbles. But it's got that sort of look that bread dough has when it's rising and you start to knead it. It's all the air that's getting in there that is going to make this slime most probably self-inflating. But look at this, it's super smooth and spreadable and soft and really, really nice. So I don't think the colour's quite spot on, but it's almost there, and I've really enjoyed making this slime. Well, I couldn't resist trying to have a go at making the colour a bit more similar to Joseph Anthony's, so I lightened it up with a bit of white and added more brown and just kept on warming this cool green up that I started with in the first place. And I hope you'll agree, I think it's almost there. Okay, so next up I thought I would try remaking Parakeet Slime McThick. So I've started with a different glue base for this, and it's thicker, but I think the slime is glossy, so I'm going to add some Elmer's clear glue to this. This will help it be glossy when it's left to sit for a bit after mixing everything together. So the next ingredient I need to add to this is some baby oil, just to give it more gloss as well. I just love adding this to a slime and mixing it in, it's so satisfying. It really makes lovely clicks. So next up I'm going to add a tiny bit of Model Magic, and this will just sort of help bind this slime together more. I don't have glue all, I think this is something that Parakeet Slime uses, but I do know that she really likes to mix lots of ingredients together to come up with hybrid slimes that are very unique. And this slime in particular I know is very thick and very glossy. So now I've thoroughly mixed this tiny bit of Model Magic with a little bit of slime. It's making this nice little putty which is going to be easier to mix into the rest of the slime. It's kind of cute. So now the Model Magic's thoroughly mixed in, I'm going to make this slime yellow, as the McThick is very yellow. It's like a sort of warm, almost banana-y sort of yellow, not a lemon yellow. So now that base slime is ready, I'm going to add scent, and I'm using black cherry, and I'm really not sure about this combination. I just never would have put the two together. I have no idea what her slime smells like. I'm going to add some pink lemonade as well, because black cherry can be a bit almondy in scent, and I'm sort of going along the lines of root beer, which I've never tried, but according to Christinaa Danks it's slightly cherry scent, this slime. So I've added the scents and it's ready for some beads. So red and yellow are definitely the Mackie D colours, but I know she uses some white beads in there as well. So this slime is definitely very thick, it's quite poofy, like lots of air in it, lots of bubbles and crackle, and really nice to handle. I just don't know if I would put sort of cherry pop or root beer scent with it, but there we go. Well, this is a very satisfying slime and I'm very happy with it. Okay, last but not least, Peachy Bbies. I've decided to do her fairy bread slime, and I do believe that bread slimes are pretty much half and half sleigh slime or clay slime and cloud. So I'm going to colour this a sort of purpley pink similar to her fairy bread and try and get the colour just right. Into this mix I'm going to put some cloud slime and then mix as much in as I think the texture needs. So basically I'm going to keep tweaking this slime until the colour's just right and the texture, and I do add a bit more cloud to this as well. So on to the scents. That's a really beautiful purple colour, sort of lilac. So I know she uses candy floss and I think it's freshly baked bread. So it's like a bread slime but fairy-fied, if that's a word. So some freshly baked bread goes in as well. And already I can tell that the Dazo clay is doing its thing and kind of melting the slime a bit, so I do activate it a bit more, and I also add shaving foam to make it light and fluffy. Ooh, it's so creamy and soft and fluffy and spreadable and sort of bread dough-like. And finally some sprinkles on top. I don't have the same as the ones she uses, but I'm going to use these holographic strands because I think they're quite magical looking and make you think of sort of fairies. And just a generous scattering of that. Oh, that's really pretty. And I'm also going to add some larger sequin glitter to this. And this has got a very sort of fairy-like theme with sort of little stars and hearts and hexagons and moons. And then finally this beautiful sort of shimmering large nail art glitter, which has lots of lovely shapes in it too, and it's a really lovely shade of purple. Look at that. Ooh, so pretty. And that concludes this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it as much as I've enjoyed making it. And I've learnt a few things from remaking other slime shop slimes, and in fact adding a scent that doesn't match the colour is quite interesting. It's sort of almost exotic, something you don't expect. So I really enjoyed probably Parakeet Slimes McThick the most. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye!